Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashley Sky. I have a video for you today about safety. Very important. I have a list of tips here that I wrote down. So even if you are a beginner traveler or a seasoned one, I think you can still benefit from these tips I have to offer. So let's just jump right in. So the first tip is to make sure you have a Wi-Fi connection. Either you set something up with your mobile carrier and make sure you have some kind of international plan, or you can get a Wi-Fi hotspot. I have a video on it. If you're interested, click up in the corner there to get information about that. It's the one that I use when I go traveling. So Wi-Fi can be very important for safety because you can check in with your family and friends back home to make sure everything's going okay on your trip. And I just think it's a must. So it's a lot more than just having Wi-Fi just to upload your pictures and video to social media, but it's also great for safety as well. Going along with staying in touch, make sure that you know the emergency numbers for the country you are visiting. So for example, in America, the emergency number is 911. So just make sure you know the number just in case. The next tip is one you might not really think much about, but it's important. It's know how your doors lock in your room. Now, if you're staying in a hotel, the doors normally lock by themselves when you close the door. And if that's the case, make sure that you deadbolt that thing and you put the latch on. And you also put a piece of tissue in the peek hole. And if you are staying in another place like an Airbnb or something, make sure you know how the doors lock, because we've been in situations where we thought the door was locked, but we just tested just to see, and the door was open. Some doors have a little keypad where you have to press a button to lock the door. Some lock automatically, but we did have a time where it didn't do that. You had to press another button to make sure it locked. So just before you leave your room, just do a little check to make sure your door is indeed locked. Next tip is make sure your food is safe. What I mean by that is make sure that the food you are eating is something that you would eat at home. Now, let me explain. That doesn't mean don't try the local cuisine. That means don't eat foods that look weird or smell weird or taste funny, or the food handlers are handling it weird. The same way I wouldn't do those things if I was eating food at home. If I didn't like the way the food smelled or looked, even in America, I wouldn't eat it. Same thing abroad. Some people don't always think about this, but you know, your stomach may just thank you later. So just make sure the food you're eating is as safe as possible and as clean as possible. Go to the grocery store. Grocery stores are pretty much a safe bet for buying your own food and cooking it. Check out my description box below. There is a coupon code. If you sign up with my link, you can get some money off your room when you book Airbnb. That's what I do. And in all my videos, that's where I'm at. I'm at Airbnb. So use my link below to get, I think it's $55 off your first room, off your first stay. So yeah, so I cook my own food usually. You'll see them on my vlogs. We'll go to the grocery store and buy food for the length of our stay and cook our own food. It's cheaper and it's usually healthier and it's cleaner and safer. So maybe just have 1 or 2 meals out at a restaurant and then cook the rest of your food like how we do. So yeah, check out my description box below. I'll put the link for my code to sign up with Airbnb, and then we can both get a discount on our rooms. Alright, so next, try to learn a couple of phrases that may come in handy while traveling to the country you're visiting. So for example, I would like this, I would like that, can I have this, can I have that, this please, this thank you, stuff like that. Also, good phrases might be like, help, call, emergency number, things like that. Just like little phrases that could help you out while traveling. And if you have like a special diet, maybe ask, is this vegetarian or is this vegan? Maybe know those phrases in the language of the land you're visiting. It could just come in handy. So, or just have them written down or something. Oh, and another thing I want to share with you guys is, yes, try to know a couple of phrases off the bat. But I also use Google Translate. If I'm trying to say something a little bit more complicated, I'll type it into Google Translate and show the person my phone. I wouldn't do this out on the street because you don't know if they'll snatch your phone. Do it like maybe in like a restaurant, you're trying to show the waiter or something, or in the grocery store, you're trying to show the clerk something. I use this method a lot while we're traveling around, and it works pretty well. We all know Google Translate isn't the best, but they'll usually get the idea of what you're trying to say, and that's pretty much the point of it all anyway. So Google Translate and also learn a couple of phrases. All right, the next tip I have is to make sure you dress appropriately. I would avoid anything super flashy or super obvious that you are a foreigner. So for example, I wouldn't wear like your most expensive pair of earrings, you know, flashy jewelry, stuff like that. Try to blend in a little bit and don't look too expensive. Like sometimes you might not think much about it, but don't have your iPhone out with your AirPods in and your Apple Watch showing, and you know, try to not make yourself look like so much of a target. Okay, try to wear minimal jewelry. This is like the earrings I usually wear when I go travel. Same thing with the necklace, super minimal, nothing too big or fancy or expensive. So, alright, just dress appropriately. See what the fashion is on the place that you're visiting and try to go along with that, okay? And that leads me into my next point, is to be aware of your surroundings, okay? Try to, don't have your earphones in and your phone, you know, texting. Try to kind of look up every now and then and kind of be aware of what you're doing and what people who are around you. You know, and it's important to hear too. So, you know, don't have your music blasting. Even if you're on the train and you have a long train ride, I would still at least have it low so you can kind of still hear what's going on around you. And also look up, you know, take a moment to look up, look around, just be aware, okay? Research the place you are visiting to make sure nothing crazy is going on in the news in the area you wish to visit, okay? Make sure there's no weird things happening with terrorism and all that stuff. So just do a quick search and make sure that everything's going okay in the news. There's a little button on Google that you can type in the place and then you hit news. It's up at the top where all the images and maps and all that stuff is. Click at the top where it says news, and that'll just give you all the local news that's going on in the place you just searched, okay? That'll help you avoid any weird things that might be happening that you might not be aware about, okay? That ties into my next point, where it is to look on the government website to see if there's any travel alerts on where you're visiting. So, for example, obviously there's a travel alert on China right now because of the health issues going on there. And it might be different, but depending on the country you live in. But I know for us, there's a government site where you can look up each country and they'll have like different colors. Like it's red if it's don't travel, it's yellow if it's like exercise, extra caution. And I always do like a little search on there just to see what the government is recommending. Because they do have some places that are in like red that they say definitely do not travel there, and they have some that are just like you can travel there but use exercise caution when going. You know, it's good to just know what's going on in that country that you're trying to visit, and if your home country recommends you going. Okay, this is a big one. Make sure you actually look into the local scams of that area you are trying to visit. I know this is not the most exciting part of your travel research, you know, but I think it's so important to be aware of what to be on the lookout for, because some people can easily get caught if you just don't know. So let me give you a couple examples. So I know in South America, a common thing is people just snatching your phone right out of your hand, so be aware of that. I know in Italy, where we just left from, they have a lot of scams by like the high touristy areas. They try to like give you something and then have you pay for it later, or try to get you to pose with a certain prop and then try to get you to pay for it. But all those scams are true and legit, and we've seen it happen to people who were just clueless on what was happening. It can be something so weird too. They'll try to tie a string on your wrist and then tell you to pay $20 for it. They'll try to lay a flyer in front of you, and if you take it, they want to charge you for it. Like a lot of weird, crazy things that you just wouldn't know unless you really looked into the research of what to look out for scams. So I always do that. I always look into, you know, because they're weird. You know, like you would never think that, oh, if someone's trying to take my picture for me, they're just being nice. They're not going to charge me. Nope, they'll charge you on some places. So just, you know, that all ties into like the whole research aspect of it. So just be aware of the local scams, okay? So because you want to have a nice trip. You don't want to be... you don't want any weird surprises, okay? The next one is a little bit, can be a little bit difficult depending on what you like to do when you're traveling. But it is to try to avoid being out at nighttime. Now, some people, they like to go to the club and they like the nightlife. That's okay, but as long as you use my other tips of being aware of your surroundings and not making yourself a huge target, you should be fine. But if it's at all possible, try to get back in the room before nightfall. I just feel like sometimes, you know, when when night falls, you know, all the creepers come out. So avoid nights if possible. Try to get an early start with your travels. Like try to wake up at a decent hour so you can have as much time of daylight hours as possible for all your sightseeing and activities. I know that's sometimes hard depending on what kind of vacation you're having. If you're having a more chilled out, relaxed vacation, you might sleep in. But if you're having a more sightseeing vacation, you might wake up earlier. I recommend waking up earlier as soon as the sun comes out. You start getting ready so you can have the whole day just to, you know, see the sights and explore and be all adventures and stuff. So that way, by the time night falls, you're done. You saw all the sights you wanted to see. You did everything you wanted to do. Okay, so yeah, that's just my advice is try to stay out. Try to get back in the house before nightfall. Not always possible, but sometimes you want to see places lit up at night. I know when I went to Italy, I was out at night for briefly, but as a general rule, try to be in the house by nightfall. Wherever you're visiting, make sure you know that you are accepted there in that country. So here's what I mean. Okay, I'm American. So not every country is on good terms with America and they don't like Americans. So I'm not going to be visiting those countries. That just makes sense. Another example is, okay, I'm a woman. Not every single country is okay with women. They don't, you know, treat women fairly and you don't have equal rights and all of that. So I won't be visiting those countries. Now, if you have certain sexual preferences and you're traveling with your partner of the same sex, you make sure you go into a country that is okay with that, because not every country is, and sometimes it's illegal and punishable by death. So just be aware of how the country is going to view you when you're visiting, you know, because if you don't want to go somewhere where you're not wanted or welcomed. Okay, so, you know, you got to think about these things because you want to have a safe, fun trip, and you don't want to be running into these weird surprises. So just be aware of how the country views you. This usually this kind of information is also on the government website of different travelers to different countries. You should be able to find that information on there. Every country has their own government sites, but I'll put the one for America in my description box below. So you can click on it, pull up the country you want to visit, and then see what the travel alerts, if any, around that country, okay? Last but certainly not least is to pray for your travel experience. This is the most important. If you don't do anything else on my list, do this. Pray for everything. Pray for your flights, your accommodations, your food, all your activities. Pray over every aspect of your travel to ensure you have a safe, fun, and exciting travel experience, okay? Try to keep your bags, purses, whatever in front of you so you don't get pickpocketed. Not only have them closed, but have them in front of you so if someone tries to come for your bag, you can clearly see them. Don't have it behind you or on your side or anything like that. And if possible, put your coat over your purse or backpack so it's covered. Okay? Yeah, just wanted to add that little tip in there. But anyway, that concludes my video on staying safe when traveling. I hope you guys learned something. Please like the video if you liked it. Oh, and don't forget to share this video because I think a lot of people can benefit from these tips. So go ahead and share it and like it and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. So you guys, I am using different lighting and a slightly different background. It's still my room, but I changed up a couple of angles. So what do you guys think about the lighting and my background and everything? Is it good? Is it better? So just let me know in the comment section down below. I'm always looking to improve my videos any way I can. So let me know how the audio is, let me know how the lighting is, and let me know how you like this angle, this background, is it good? So yeah, just let me know.